Hello, YouTube. We are back for the America's Greatest Comics. The book has been, or the interior of the book has been in the humidity chamber overnight. It's nice and damp. I can feel it. I hit the book taking it out because I had the tub on the floor and I hit the corner of the page with a little water. That's fine. That will dry right up when we press it. To the side here, I have my steamer as well. Okay, we're going to get it going. And what I want to do is I want to hit it just with a little steam because we're going to get going with the pressing now. And I just want to give it a little extra steam to heat it up. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this now. Just a little extra steam, and this is a square bound book. And the goal is to try to get it where it is a universal grade. That's what I want to do. So we're just going to give it a little steaming, a little extra moisture. And we are going to install the cover. Now, I know the cover is not going to be glued back on, but I'm going to try something. So what we have here is a little water. I have a paintbrush, and we're going to put a little water in the paintbrush. And then I'm going to paint just the spine with a little water. This is plain water, no methyl cellulose. I just want to moisten the spine a little bit, just like this, to make it wet. Because the goal is to try to make it wet, and the spine of the cover will stick to the wet newsprint that we're dealing with here right now. In theory, we're going to see how it's going to pan out. There's no guarantee it will happen. So what I want to do now is I want to take one of my shelving units. We're going to put it down right here like this. Then what I want to do is I want to get one of my plastic sheets that I use. Just like this. Then I'm going to put a piece of Hollytex just for extra protection. Just like this. Now what I want to do is I want to put my cover down. Just like this. We're going to move it over like this because I want to put it in the center. Then what I have is let's paint the spine of the cover as well, just a little bit, just like this, where we can, with some water, a little H2O. The book had water on it to begin with, so adding a little water, in my opinion, is fair play. It's a fair game right now doing this, adding a little water on, because hopefully the spine of the cover will stick onto the interior. I'm going to get rid of this Hollytex. We're not going to use the Hollytex, and I'll tell you why. I just changed my mind. Now what I have here is a pre-cut piece of parchment paper. I want to lay the parchment paper down just like this onto the back cover, and we're going to place the interior down just like that. Very simple, easy peasy. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to take another piece of parching paper. We're not going to use backer boards or anything like that for this. We're just going to use parchment paper. just like that. And that water may stain that I made a mistake and I hit the corner of the book into the water bath, moving it. But that's okay. That will go with the patina. This is a water damaged book. The whole book is water damaged. And again, we want to try to get a universal grade with this book, so it will just go along with the way the book should look with water damage. So right there, I want to fold the pieces of the square bound spine down. And we're going to take a look at it just like this by lifting up the book and make sure it's lined up. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more water on the exterior like this to try to get it in place. And I'll show you how I'm going to form it onto the side of the book. I may have been a little off there with the camera. So just like that. And then what I have is a large piece of parchment paper. Just like this. So what I want to do is I want to lift the square bound book up. Make sure everything's lined up. It's very important to make sure everything's lined up like this, because we want to try to get it as lined up as possible. There's a lot of manipulation going on. Then I'm going to take the parchment paper just like this. Okay, just like this. And then I'm going to fold the parchment paper over to try to make sure that the spine is nice and tight. But I'm changing my mind right now. And this is what I do. I change my mind when I do things. We're going to get a backer board and I'm going to put it in, or at least I'm going to try to put it into the middle of the book. We're not going to get a centerfold in this book because, as I indicated before, it is 3 books or 3 interior books put together to make the square bound. So I'm just going to lift it up like this, and I'm going to put it right here. That's in the center as best as I can estimate, just like this. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing this is I can use the backer board, and then I can push the backer board, which is in the center, and I can push and pull at the same time, like this. Push and pull, push and pull. So I'm pushing the interior of the book in, and I'm making sure that it's lined up. Again, one last time, because once we close it in the book binding press, we're done. So I want to make sure I have it lined up with the cover and the book itself. And it looks pretty decent. It looks nicely lined up. As a matter of fact, I want to take it down a little bit. And this is making sausage, guys, when you do this. You're seeing how I do this, and it's not 1, 2, 3, done, perfect. No, it takes time to do this. So let's put now, I lined it up a little bit better. Let's put my parchment paper down, and let's close it up. Okay. And I'm going to try to round, or at least square, not round, the spine, just like that. And this little piece on the bottom right here, it's not forming that well, but we'll see what happens. So now we're gonna push and we're gonna pull and we're gonna wrap it like a present. See, nice and tight. And in fact, sometimes when I do this, I like to cut the excess parchment paper when I am positioning it, just to remove the excess, like that. Okay. Push the center board in, or the backer board, and pull to tighten up the spine, just like that. And then hopefully what will happen is that the water itself will bond the cover onto the book. Now that's why these small pieces of plastic are very good, because they're flexible. So right there I can slowly remove my hand and I have pressure on it and it's shaped up nicely. The same thing now, I can take the shelving unit, which has weight by essence of just being wood or press board, and then I'm gonna drop it down. And I don't like the way that landed. So it just shows, guys, this is a trial and error, and sometimes you have to do things more than once. So let's try that again. And in fact, I think I want to do it this way. I want to do it horizontally. So let's pull the parchment paper and push the center board in, or the backer board. Keep the pressure on it so it's in shape, just like this. Slowly put our plastic over and back out our hand, just like this, okay? Make sure everything is nice and lined up. Let's push this back a little bit, the book, just like this, so it's nice and centered. And let me just make sure everything's good, because once this is in the bookbinding press, it's going to be shaped up hopefully nicely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shelving unit and I'm going to drop it down quickly and hopefully maintain the shape, just like that. Okay, guys? And I'm happy with the way it dropped in. Now I'm on the side here with my bookbinding press, and I'm putting it in off camera, and then I'm gonna wrench down on it. Tight, tight, tight. So that's it, guys. That is the method that I am going to use for this book. It may not be the same for every book, it's different. But for this one, I'm trying to reattach the cover within a universal label, okay? So we're gonna keep that overnight. I am just gonna leave it. We're gonna let it dry. We're gonna probably keep it in there for about 12 to 15 hours. And then in this upload, I'll show you the results. We'll take it out, we'll look at it, and we'll see if it was a success or a failure. Who knows? We'll find out. I made a mistake. I hit the corner of the book because I have my tub on the floor next to me, but it happens. That will dry up. The whole interior book is filled with water stains, so I'm not too concerned about it. And it will look more patinaed, more authentic, being graded that way by CGC. So we'll make lemonade out of lemons. It happens. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with the magic of editing in about 18 hours or so, 13 to 18 hours, depending on how long I'm going to leave it in there. Because a lot of the times, guys, I just do it overnight. But if I'm doing something in the morning and not running down and to play with comics, sometimes it stays in there longer, okay? So I'll see you soon.